All right, we are on slide 9, and we're going to be creating our experiment now. So we will design the experiment together, and you're going to complete the following notes to help you figure out how we're going to do this. So we are going to have 3 groups of students. One will be and you're going to fill in this blank. This is one of the vocab terms that we've been learning about as far as what kind of groups do we have in a scientific experiment. And then 2 of the groups will serve as this other type of group. Our control group, these are students that will not be exercising, and then they will squeeze the clothespin for 1 minute. And then we're going to have 2 experimental groups. The first group, we're going to call you Group A. These students will do jumping jacks for 30 seconds, and then you're going to squeeze the clothespin for a minute. We're going to see if 30 seconds of exercise has any effect. And then Group B, these students will do jumping jacks for a whole minute, and then they will squeeze the clothespin for a minute. So the constants and controls are different. A control group is the group that doesn't change their variable. They kind of keep things the same so that you can compare your experimental results to that. So we have the students resting because we're going to compare if they're resting, what is their clothespin squeezing rate compared to the kids that exercise. Our constants are going to be the other variables that we have to keep the same for everybody. The type of exercise has to stay the same. So those that are exercising, they have to do all jumping jacks. The type of clothespin squeezing, explain how they have to hold it. The number of trials, we're actually going to do 3 trials. So those are the 3 trials. And the hand that is used for squeezing, you're going to have to keep that the same as well. So now the group part of the experiment, you will be in the following group, and I'll show you in a moment how you find that out. You're going to circle control group or experimental group A or experimental group B. The way you find that out is by going to this link right here. This is going to open up this spreadsheet. Remember how this should all have everybody's pulse rates, but the second sheet down here lists your names and which group you are in. So the people on the blue list are the no exercise people. The people in group A are 30 seconds of exercise right here. And then group B are the minute exercise. That's how you know which group you're in. So you'll go back and figure out which group you're in, circle it, and then you're going to collect your data. So if you are in the control group, you've been resting. So now you can use, here's the minute timer. You can use the minute timer, squeeze your clothespin for a minute, write down your number. Rest for another minute, and then squeeze your clothespin and write down for trial 2. Give yourself a little break and then do trial 3. If you're experimental group A, that means you're exercising for 30 seconds. You're doing jumping jacks. So set your timer and do your jumping jacks for 30 seconds. When you're done, you'll need the minute timer so that you can squeeze your clothespin for a minute. And then you're writing down your 3 trials. And then if you are in group B, you're exercising for a minute, so you'll use the minute timer while you do your jumping jacks. And then after you do your jumping jacks for a minute, you're going to grab your clothespin, hit your timer again for another minute, and you're going to do that 3 different times. You're going to exercise, squeeze the clothespin, exercise, squeeze the clothespin 3 times. To calculate your average, we want to do an average because that makes your results more reliable. We've done it multiple times. You're going to add up your 3 trials and divide by 3, and then you get your average. So now that you have this number, the average, you're going to go back, either you click this link again or you have it open still, and you're going to write your average number of squeezes next to your name. After everybody writes their numbers here, where you see average down here, this is going to become the average of all of these numbers, okay? And then you're going to get another average for those numbers and another average for these numbers. Right now it has this weird code because there's no numbers there. But it will start to turn into numbers, okay? I put a formula in there for you guys. So and we have to wait for everyone to do this, okay? So please wait before you continue on the next page until all the students have entered their data. After everybody has entered their data, then you Actually, you don't even have to make a copy of this data table. You're just going to make sure you can refer to it. And then you'll move on to the next part of the experiment.